Hi boys and girls, for today's math lesson I brought a whole bunch of different tools that we use to measure. I brought a measuring cup, I brought a measuring tape, I brought a ruler and a thermometer, and the last thing I brought was a scale, a full-size scale. So I'm going to go through each one and I want you to think about what job someone might do to try to use these tools or need to use these tools. So let's go ahead and get started. So this scale right here, and it measures, when I use it, it's going to show me the weight up top here in the digital numbers. Where might someone use that? What job would someone do to use a scale? Can you think about it? You go somewhere where someone uses a scale to see how much you weigh. The doctor's office. All right, what job would maybe use a measuring tape? This one measures a lot longer than a ruler because you can keep pulling it out to measure different things. What job might use this? Maybe they need to get wood that measures a certain amount. What job would you maybe use these kind of tools or measuring devices? Maybe a construction worker, right? They're going to measure to see how long the wood is, and maybe they have to cut the wood if it's not the right measurement. All right, this one is tricky, boys and girls. So this one is called a measuring tape. And the cool thing about this is if I wanted to measure my head, if I wanted to use a ruler, can I measure my head very well? Not so much, because this is stiff and it's just a stick. But this one uses the same measurement. So here would be your ruler's length. But instead of being straight, I can measure a head by going around. So if I wanted to see how big my hat wanted to be, or if I wanted to measure how big a shirt was, I need to use this measuring tape. So what job could someone have if they needed to use a measuring tape? Yeah, it'd be someone who makes clothing, right? That could be the job that uses the measuring tape. How about someone that needs to use a measuring cup? What job would use a measuring cup? That's right. It would probably be a chef, because they need to measure how much of each ingredient they would have. Now, boys and girls, there's different measuring cups. This one is what we learned, and it showed us 1 cup. But there are smaller ones that could only measure, let's see, 1/4 of a cup. So it's the smallest measuring cup that I have. And then I have one that goes all the way up to 4 cups, and I use that sometimes when I measure my flour for making my bread. So there are different sizes of measuring cups. And then what job would we use for a thermometer? Who would need to use a thermometer in their job? Who needs to know what the temperature is going to be outside or at night? Who tells us what temperature we're going to do, and they need to read a thermometer for that? That's going to be the weather forecaster, right? The one that you see on the TV. All right, and then the last one would be the ruler. Who would use a ruler? That could be any job where they have to measure, just like on the builder has to use the measuring tape. He could also be using a ruler if he wants to do smaller measurements. All right, so boys and girls, when you are doing your page today, you need to do this listening part. And so I brought my book so I can teach you the listening part so you can fill out your graphs today. All right, so we're going to be talking about the height of the different kids. It says the height of a boy from when he's 3 months old all the way till he's 13 years old. So when a baby boy is 3 months old, the average height is going to be 2 feet. So if I were going to show you that, remember that a ruler is 1 foot. So if I do one and then I do another one on top, that's 2 feet. So go ahead in your graph and fill out 2 feet for that. And I'm going to keep going. If you need to pause this to fill it out, that's fine. A 3-year-old boy is going to be 3 feet tall. So that would be 3 rulers long for a 3-year-old boy. Go ahead and pause and fill in. And then the 7-year-old boy is going to be 4 feet tall, so 4 rulers high. And then a 13-year-old boy is going to be 5 rulers high, 5 feet. So go ahead and fill in that graph. Then when you're done, come back. So pause this and finish that up, and then come back for the second one. So the bamboo plant, to fill in that graph, It says the bamboo plant in 3 months, it will be 5 feet tall. So you're going to fill in 5 feet tall for 3 months. And then in 6 months, the bamboo plant will now be 12 feet tall. So where it says 6 months on your graph on the bottom, you're going to fill it up to 12 because that's going to be how tall it is at 6 months. In 1 year's time, the bamboo plant is going to be 15 feet tall. So it's getting really tall. And then at 2 years' time, the bamboo plant is going to be 20 feet tall. All right, boys and girls, if I went too fast, just pause when you need to fill it in and then go ahead and fill it in the way that you can. Boys and girls, have a great day filling in your graphs.